Well, it was only a matter of time until gamers have decided to come together. We decided to vote with our wallet, and we decided to say no to bad games that are coming out or have came out and performed not to our expectations. It lacked substance, it lacked content, it wasn't a fully functional game, and the game did not appeal to us. So fast forward, you got big name game publishers like EA and Ubisoft not doing so good. And honestly, I'm not mad. It's kind of deserved. And it's well deserved to a more fitting game publisher because over the years, the quality of games that both of these publishers have put out have been dwindling down. When you look at EA, granted, I'm not into sport games like Madden, FIFA, now FC. I'm not into sport games, so I'm just not going to speak about that. But game franchises like Mass Effect Andromeda did terrible. People hated it. It was bad. It was a terrible Mass Effect game for the next gen. Then you had Battlefield 2042, a game that I was so hyped for, a game that I was anticipating for. And I was hoping that they would correct themselves with the disaster launch that they had with Battlefield 5, if anybody remembers that one. Battlefield 2042 ended up becoming a flop. Bad, horrible, to the point where they had to rework the game, put the features that us Battlefield fans wanted in a Battlefield game, but at that point, it was already too late. Majority of the Battlefield players have moved on. Some have come back to play the new features, the new game modes, to see the new quality of life, but overall, just completely left and abandoned the game and be like, all right, we're just done. We'll wait until the next Battlefield game that EA decides to put out. Hopefully, and I mean hopefully, they get it right because otherwise, we just have no hope for them. And you also have Dragon Age, the Veilguard, which did terrible. It didn't meet the sale expectations of EA. And this article coming from Inside Gaming. The headline says EA stock dropped 17% following Dragon Age the Veilguard's disappointing sales. Yeah, the 17% drop is one of EA's most significant drops in stock value ever following its quarter 3 2025 financial report. Yeah, it's not doing so good for EA. Not doing so good, but you know who's also doing even worse than EA? Ubisoft. And with Ubisoft, you had games like what Ghost Recon Breakpoint, which was literally Ghost Recon Wildlands 2.0. That didn't do so well. The Assassin's Creed games didn't. I mean, they performed, but they were easily forgettable. On the podcast, myself and Waluigi, we've said this a lot that Assassin's Creed Shadow is Ubisoft's last Hail Mary pitch. And already we get an article from Insider Gaming saying that Ubisoft shuts down another studio, 185 jobs lost. Yeah. Ubisoft is closing down another studio and downsizing multiple others as part of its continuing restructurings. The company is closing down its Leamington-based studio in the United Kingdom while it reduces headcount at locations in Dusseldorf, Stockholm, and Newcastle. Yeah, it's not looking good for Ubisoft. And honestly, both of these big name game publishers, it is well deserved because this is how we gamers get changed. This is how when you vote with your wallet, you decide to not buy these games day one, or you end up buying them used, or you end up buying them when it's like on a very, very cheap sale. Like Dragon Age the Veilguard is not even 3 months old, and that game is below $25. That's how bad it performed. Usually, a game that costs $70 that comes out within the 3 months of its lifespan, it's still at that $70 mark. If not, it'll go down to $60. But man, all the way down to 25, bro, that's just, it's not good. It's not looking good for them. You also had what? X Defiant, a game that I was so hyped for that I continue to play to this day because I enjoy that game. Is going to be shut down this year in June. Sucks. And Ubisoft just been taking L after L after L with some of their games that just were not performing, that were just flopping. But this is what happens when you stop catering to gamers, when you stop listening to gamers. This is the result. Game designers, game developers losing their jobs. Big name game publishers are now having to cut these people's jobs because they're not making any sales. They have to recuperate their losses. So guess what? Guess what is the first thing that's going to be out the door? People who are designing the game. Hey, we got to cut you. We got to let you go. This game didn't perform well, so we got to save our neck. Don't know about you. I mean, EA, I think is going to be okay, but Ubisoft's on that chopping block right now. About to get that sentence. It's not looking good for them. But as I said before, this is what happens when gamers vote with their wallet and we demand change. So that way we can get these quality games that we've been asking for the very longest. And with it, we continue to support. Sorry about that. We continue to support these game companies that actually do cater to gamers, that actually value our wallet, because these game publishers and their big CEOs, they're only looking out for the bottom line. They're only looking out to make more money, which here's the thing. I'm not knocking that. Yes, I understand you are a business. You are trying to make more money. But if you are not making money because the fact that you are not catering to gamers, then you have yourself to blame. Only yourself to blame in the direction that you chose to go. So you can say gamers are whiny, they bitch a lot, they complain about all these little things, they have such high demands and expectations, which I will say yes, we do. Because we're having to pay for this product and we want to make sure that we get our money's worth with said product. Otherwise, we're just not going to buy your game at all. We're just going to move on to something else. So you could say this is what good news for both Ubisoft and EA not doing so good in 2025. They definitely have, I mean, both of them are definitely cleaning up house, which is a good thing to see. And hopefully they get some new, fresh game developers or even some seasoned ones that are going to do right by gamers, that are going to fulfill the vision of the games that we as gamers want, and see if they can, stick around for another couple of years, because EA's been around for a long time. Ubisoft has been around for a long time. But to see them in this state now, oof, it's not looking good. And change is definitely coming. And that's what we want. Because, as I said, gamers, when you vote for your wallet, when you vote with your wallet, that is when you get change. So, anyway, y'all let me know in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on all this? I'd love to hear you. Until next time, as always, stay classy.